because they actually want a target. They want a target in order to put all this violence towards again. If you can justify to me why it is that Hitler genocided all these Jews, then I suppose you have a good argument to go and do all of these things. This is people who are truly pro-genocide, not the other way around. I'm not pro-genocide. I'm not happy about what's going on in Palestine. I'm so sorry that all these people are having to die. There is nothing to justify the terrible, terrible causes of war. And I pray and I hope that it ends very, very soon, okay? The terrorist group that is Hamas needs to go. And they are totally to blame for Palestinian deaths. Absolutely.
By the way,
they went and started a war with Israel, and then they brought it back to their hometown in Gaza, and they're going around in tunnels everywhere, and then people are getting killed, innocent people. But that isn't the Israelis' fault. That is Hamas's fault. If anything, the Palestinians should be aiding the Israelis in order to get rid of Hamas. But that's not what they're doing either.
No, not at all. I mean, they would have to give up land if that's the case. And honestly, I think the Israelis should just use this as an excuse to take over.
I guess, yeah. I mean, that's the...
Well, first things first, as you said a couple times, they need to just follow the laws of God, and then things will go good. But
there's even laws of war, you know that, right? There's laws of war. It just says if you're going to cause war on these people,
kill the male combatants.
You have before you go in, you have to tell them that
to make
you
peace.
Guys, you call the peace, but also that they should leave.
Well, yeah, you try to make peace with them, and then you kill the male combatants and not the women and children.
Well, from my understanding of reading the 5 books, it's very, very clear that the laws are saying, we're going to attack you, and we're going to cause war, you can leave, and you have due time to leave. We don't need to do all this killing. Okay, that's obviously not how, like, Hitler operated, right?
Is that the case? I thought it was you try to make peace, and then you take over, and they have to abide by your rules.
Yeah.
No, that's another scenario.
I don't recall what you're saying in the Torah, but
I can find
tell them to evacuate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't recall that in the Torah, but to the point, it's not really
either
that
way.
relevant. The point is you have to give them a chance.
You
have to give them a chance.
That is part of the negotiations that should be taking place.
You have to give them a chance to survive. And again, remember, this is part of an extravagant plan because Iran funds Hamas, right? And Iran actually is like the evil regime in that region who's funding terrorist groups like Hezbollah in Lebanon. I met a guy from Lebanon who said that ever since Hezbollah's been there, they've destroyed Lebanon. And the same thing with Hamas has destroyed Gaza.
I mean,
right? The problem is that Israel has 5 million Palestinians living there, and they have the West Bank is Palestine and Gaza is Palestine, and they really need to give them a state, but they also can't give them a state because they're too violent, and they also don't want to accept the state because they want more land. And it's like the problem is there's no solution. That's the real problem, which is like, again, at this point, it's a focused thing. They got to take over. They got to defeat Hamas, But again, they're not able to do it. That's what's so scary is like they're not doing it. They're not succeeding, And that just kind of says that we don't know what the outcome is because there has to come to some agreement, And no one wants to come to an agreement.
I'm definitely with you. There. I don't think that there's such great solutions being drawn up. And again, the whole idea that Israel is supposed to have the land of Israel without the history behind them that confirms that they're a holy people that are supposed to follow God's law is super absurd, and it's likely to end up in failure. That's been the historical narrative, and it's also the promise from God.
It's already happened twice.
Well,
and back then they even had it was even more of a religious state, and they had a temple, and it's still destroyed.
Mm.
And again, like all of this comes from the
By the way, did you know that
separation.
they were Asian Jews? I didn't know that was a thing.
Are they?
Yeah, there was Asian Jews. That's crazy.
Like they
lived in like India and like
India,
China
I've heard of,
too.
Yeah, so Jews migrated to there.
Yeah.
I mean, Jews literally migrated to all 4 corners of the earth.
Crazy.
It's insane. And by the way, that's
Jews.
foretold in Deuteronomy as well.
Yeah,
well, that's why it
spread
needs
out.
to be established that it is not only a ethnicity, but it is also a belief set. It's a belief set. Well, guys, I mean, all of this is depressing as can be. God willing, it doesn't affect our lives in such a negative way.
Well, yeah, I
you
agree
just want
that just like
no more death, no more killing, put a pause
No
to
more
the whole
Hitler.
thing.
yeah, and
Definitely don't bring back Hitler. My God. You're talking about freaking genocide right now.
Yeah, I mean,
just so you understand how bad propaganda has affected people's minds. I talk to a good amount of people who reach out to me, and there are some people who are very knowledgeable in history and have good points. And even people who are equipped with that sort of knowledge, I still heard that more